RJ
Golf
Young,
winner.
OU Insider. What now?
We need a golf winner.
Okay. Joining us right now, RJ Young, OUinsider.com. OU Insider also hosts of Fight Me Sunday morning, 10 o'clock on The Animal. Interesting piece on OU Insider written by one RJ Young about how Lincoln Riley scouts quarterbacks. And just, kind of the way he goes about it, and hearing from kids, how kind of, they get recruited. I believe you were talking, we were hearing from the one kid who, again, you just go to a lot of camps before your senior year, try to get seen, and then hopefully from there things develop. But OU, no problem getting quarterbacks on campus the last several years.
No, and if you get an offer from Lincoln Riley, now you got to really think hard about it, because his pedigree is such that his dudes just play well, and he's got this number one criteria for picking them, which makes a lot of sense to anybody once they hear it, is, did you win football games? Are you a winner? Do your teammates feel good about you? And the guy that I was actually making reference to was Shane Carden out at East Carolina. He was a 2-star recruit out of Bel Air, Texas, went to camps, did well, had one coach tell him that at best he was Division AA quarterback. Dana Holgerson thought a little bit differently, wanted to recruit him, couldn't recruit him. They went a different direction. He called up Lincoln and Ruffin said, y'all better take this kid because he's going to beat the heck out of UH. And he ended up being pretty good. Another guy, Dominic Davis, his first quarterback out there at ECU. That guy is backing up Matt Ryan at Boston College, ended up at Fort Scott, took them to a national championship, beats out Carden for the job at ECU. His first game was also stellar, 5 TDs, like 380 yards passing. Point is, if Lincoln Riley tells you that you can play quarterback for him, you're probably going to end up being pretty good.
Talking with RJ Young. RJ, it's been a week. I've gotten a chance to talk to you. It was funny. I was looking at this deal, and obviously with you and Drum and those guys over at OU Insider, you've got this 5-star running back. Now, he's on campus. Is this like an extended visit, unofficial, or how is this thing working, the Kendall Milton kid?
Well, I mean, it's junior day, right, that everybody's showing up for. And if you get there just a little sooner, it can take a little bit longer to look around. Not necessarily a guided tour, but you do, if you're Kendall Milton, you're coming from a long way. You want to get your bearings. You want to have just as much of a sense of it as you can. But this is not the only 5-star running back that Oklahoma is in on, which is ridiculous, right? You're also talking about the number one recruit in the country in Zachary Evans, which is, it's really difficult to make a guy number one as a running back because it's just not that kind of a position normally. But when you see this kid's huddle film and you see Milton's huddle film, you see guys that actually can make 6 or 7 people miss as the play is broken down. And that's why they're so highly touted in a very deep running back class. Like, one of the things that I've been talking about repeatedly and we'll talk about all year is Savion Morrison still doesn't have an OU offer. And then you look at this running back class that might be the deepest in the rankings era with 9 guys playing running back inside the 24/7 composite top 50, which is just stupid. Now, I think there's going to be some moving and shaking in the rankings as the camps go on and whatnot. But you're in a good position if you're Oklahoma looking at these 5-star guys. And you got a 5-star guy already committed, so you could take your time. But we'll see what Kendall Milton sees and see how he sees it after he leaves Oklahoma. That's always an interesting interview.
Hey, your thoughts on this, because we've been talking about the quarterback position. And look, since Lincoln's been here as an offensive coordinator and head coach, obviously they've performed very well, but they've done it with guys who have transferred. Now, look, Baker Mayfield coming in, I mean, he was a walk-on. He played half the year at Tech. I'm not saying he wasn't a big, highly touted recruited kid, but he has success, and all of a sudden, Kyler Murray wants to come here. He has success, all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts wants to come here. OU has done great with the transfer quarterbacks. We don't know how the recruiting is going. Now, look, Tanner Mordecai seems like he's a guy who'd be a good player. Spencer Rattler is obviously everything you're looking for in a quarterback out of high school. But it is fascinating how they've done so well with the transfer guys. We haven't even seen how the recruit develop guys have turned out.
You saw how Shane Carden turned out, and the first guy that he started was a transfer JUCO guy in Dominic Davis. This is kind of what he's been doing, man. Like, he went into Austin Kendall's living room expecting him to be his quarterback, and then Jalen Hurts comes along. You could say the same thing about Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, right? I mean, that was a very interesting conversation that Kyler had. I think it was on for the ticket, the Davey O'Brien Award, we were saying, look, basically Lincoln hit me up all the time going, did you sign your financial aid agreement? Did you sign your financial aid agreement? He's DMing him and whatnot. But look, if he can go get them and they want to come here, I don't see an issue here about developing quarterbacks because he developed Kyler Murray from what most people thought was a 5-star bust. Are we gonna let that slide? He developed Baker Mayfield from a guy that could just beat out Trevor Knight to a actual, not just Heisman Trophy winner, but the #1 overall pick in the draft. So I'm not really sold on him not developing guys that he's getting onto campus. Now, you can make the argument about whether or not the guy that he signs out of high school is ever going to play. Well, find me a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts that wants to come to Oklahoma, and then we can continue to have that conversation. But until then, I think it's Lincoln Riley's world, and we're all just watching him call plays in it.
Yeah, and you make a great point there. The development's there because Baker Mayfield was a phenomenal quarterback after he left OU than he was when he got there, and he had skill, obviously. Same thing with Kyler Murray. When you see this kind of playing out overall, RJ, it seems like Oklahoma has put that emphasis, obviously, with the new defensive coordinator with Grinch. They're wanting to sign more defensive guys. They're wanting to try to get into the D-line market with really 4- and 5-star type guys. Are you still seeing that continuation? Because Lincoln has really turned the corner on that the last couple of years.
Well, we're really not going to know much until we get past the spring, right? Because you'll get to see what you have, you'll get to see how it played, and you'll have a better sense of what you want to go get. But we're always going to be looking at the defensive line and defensive tackle recruiting from jump at Oklahoma because just haven't been great there over the past decade, right? And we're always going to be looking at the cornerback and safety recruiting at Oklahoma because you just haven't been great there over the past 3-4 years. So, yeah, you expect them to take the jump, and that's why you recruit a guy like Alex Grinch to be your defensive coordinator. Maybe you see the guy that everybody hopes he saw, which would be a defensive version of him in 2015, but you just don't know yet, especially now that you just have these bad narratives of guys like Derek Green, Ron Tatum wanting out, which you kind of get to expect with a new defensive coordinator. Some guys are going to fit, some guys are going to not. I mean, I've even had some talks with other kids about, hey, is my offer still good? That's also what they're trying to work out. So I don't really know that you have an answer until you get into the summer recruiting.
RJ Young joining us, OUinsider.com, host of Fight Me as well, with which you'll hear Sunday morning right here on your home for sports, the Sports Animal. Have you gotten into baseball yet with OU? I know it's early in the season. Football's still hot. It's still basketball, but OU's off to, a 4-0 start.
Right, and I'm really interested to see what Bobby Witt does because that's why I'm here, right? That's why I think we're all here. Why did he decide to come to Oklahoma? That was my first question. I thought the kid would have actually gone in the draft. Said no, and now with them having a 4-0 start, I don't really. Patrick, can you really draw conclusions on OU baseball until you get into Big 12 play?
Just say it again.
Can you really draw conclusions on OU baseball until you get into Big 12 play?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay, how about this then? 24/7 Sports did a cool thing about if trades were allowed in college football, all right? And they threw this out there. If trades were part of college football, the OU could send Theo Weiss to the Iowa Hawkeyes for defensive end AJ Espinoza. Look, OU has deep enough at wide receiver. They probably can make 2 or 3 trades.
Bro, no.
This is on your site.
Nah,
I cannot wait to go back and watch the YouTube video of this conversation with RJ and see the look on his face when you ask that.
I am looking at OUinsider.com.
I understand that. Oh, but speak to that, RJ. The reason why you're probably looking the way you look, Theo Weiss, we want to see this guy in an OU uniform. We want to see what this dude can do. I just looked at a couple of things on Huddle and just some things here and there from different camps. This dude is the real freaking deal. I mean, he just like CeeDee Lamb kind of was. I mean, this guy can go.
Well, and not just him, but also Jaden Hazelwood, right? And they both have they know how to win in winning time. That's the most important thing for me. Is like you see the Huddle film, which is highlights and whatnot. But both of these dudes have made big catches when it matters, and they're both extremely long. And one of the things I love most about Theo, when he had something to say, it kind of resonated. Like, what's the worst thing that could ever happen in the world? Dropping a pass? Like, okay, who says that? He does. And he's not even the guy with the most swag of that 2019 group. It's Trajan Bridges, who had a big hand in recruiting both of those guys to Oklahoma. I want to see him play as much as anybody else, right? But we also know that this wide receiver group at Oklahoma is stacked. I mean, it's going to be difficult just to get them the ball, let alone get them on the field together. So I hesitate to say that we're going to get to see all of them play substantially, but one of those three, I think, is going to compete for a starting job. I think it's going to be them. On the other side of CeeDee Lamb, we'll see who it is. Now, that also takes into account the guys that are on campus, but I'm telling you, Theo East, Jaden Hazelwood, Trajan Bridges, those guys can absolutely go. Everybody wants to see them play. It's not just you and me, Austin. It's everybody.
No doubt. No question.
Again, is there anything we can see? Maybe the rights to Spencer Rattler are available. They can make some.
No, we ain't messing with that.
Hey, good stuff, RJ. Look forward to Sunday morning Fight Me, 10 a.m. Thanks, man.
All right, fellas.
All right, buddy. Good stuff. RJ Young, OU Insider.